Alright, well, I know my hunting content isn't some of the most popular footage that I have. I do want to share this with y'all because I have a passion for it. I very much enjoy hunting in a way that I had no idea. Even so, in a way that I regret the time that I didn't hunt, putting it off, being too busy, thinking that it was a pain in the ass to get the license, thinking that it was a pain in the ass to take the stupid hunter safety course because I missed it by 6 months. If I was 6 months older, I wouldn't have had to take the hunter safety course, because it was like there was a cutoff time in Florida, and regardless of how old you were, and I was 18 at the time when I first figured I'd had the means to go hunting, and because I had to take this hunter safety course, and I got so pissed off that I needed to do it just because of when I was born, I ended up putting off hunting for several years afterwards, until it was something that I just couldn't resist any longer. I needed to try it. On the outset, and what I tell a lot of people, what I like about hunting is that it combines my love of the outdoors, my love of animals, my love of conservation, with my love of firearms and my love of weapons and my love of adventure. There's also some other aspects to it, logistics, economy, all kinds of science to like crop management, herd management, plenty of stuff. If y'all want to know what you're really made of, I think hunting is a good way to do it, because the times of the year that we have a hunting season are some very, very hard times of the year. Now, down here in Florida, it doesn't get as cold as it does in other areas. It's not as extreme as it is in other areas. However, things being relative, the temperature difference compared to what we're used to is the equivalent to the temperature difference of what y'all up north are used to, or out west. And exposure is every bit as fatal down here as it is out there. Now, you're not getting frostbite necessarily, but there still are other concerns that are in place. But speaking of being in different areas, I wanted to take a little time and put it to words the Florida hunting, the Florida hog situation. How it is that we're able to go 24 hours a day, 365 days a year after this particular animal with no restrictions whatsoever, and what all's entailed in doing so. What type of hunting do you do when the species that you're going after is an absolute nuisance that's causing property damage, causing crop damage? It's pushing out indigenous creatures. It's destroying food supplies for indigenous creatures. What all's entailed in fighting and combating this ecological force? There's no other way to put it. I'll show you some video footage. I'll get it up eventually, and if I don't do it within the Daily Dose of Lamb Dog, I'll show it outside of it, and it's also going to be on my other channel that's going to be dedicated to this type of content. The actual damage that occurs from these animals when they go to rooting up, for what my friend says, for the crimes of being a hog. But I think I've made it no secret. Obviously, we are baiting these creatures, and we've got I would say it's probably a 55-gallon hopper that we fill with a couple 100 pounds worth of corn that goes off 2 times a day, 7 days a week, all year long. The idea is to pull these animals into a very certain location at a very certain time so that we can ambush them and kill as many as possible. Benefits, of course, we get meat out of it. We make our landowner happy. We make the deer population healthier because, again, competing food sources, competing ground, and by gum, some of them animals down here get downright mean. So it could be unhealthy for these animals to be together. So tonight, as we're going out again, you know, we're going in the dark, and I know that's nighttime hunting is something very different, and it's definitely a different dimension of hunting. Hunting under bait is also a very different dimension, and I do very much understand, appreciate, and respect the concerns that people have to feeders as well as artificial food sources. But as what's been pointed out by several expert hunters, as it comes to artificial food sources, the way that wildlife is in this day and age, that genie is out of the bottle. Whether that artificial food source is the garbage can in somebody's yard or a cornfield, these elements have changed. Now, the idea of my artificial food source is I am attempting to attract this dangerous nuisance animal away from the other artificial news sources. And hopefully put them in a position to where they're able to live as healthy as possible, and just they have something to eat besides getting into things that allow them to carry more dangerous pathogens. I mean, a hog will eat anything. They carry trichinosis because they'll eat dead rats, they'll eat dead crap, you know. And there's quite a bit to learn about it, and I'm happy to share it. Any questions that you have, please feel free to ask. I'm by no means an expert, and we're, of course, hashing this stuff out. It's a very organic process, and that just when you think you got a bead on an animal, you got your process figured out, you know, they'll prove how wrong you are. So, anyway, this has been your Daily Dose of Lamb Dog, hunting edition, I suppose you could call it. And we'll catch you next time.